What's up, family? This is Kevin O, and in this video I'm going to talk about what's really going on. So some of you may have seen on my Facebook wall, on my Instagram page, did a post the other day that got a lot of triggers set off and trip minds and projections around what would happen if you spent all that time researching conspiracy theories on building a business. And my intention with this post was really to just draw attention to a pattern I've noticed in myself in the past, and I've noticed in a lot of the friends and tribe I have online, of people spending inordinate amount of time seeking out truth, which is totally a valid value system and concept, but then seeing how toxic it becomes. Like, people yelling and saying, "You're gaslighting, like, we know what you mean, like, you're discrediting us, like, you fucking capitalists." Like, some of the comments I was reading are just really baffling to me. And it makes sense. I understand when people are in fear, which there's a lot of fear on the planet right now, that they act irrationally and they actually lash out at each other, which is the exact opposite of what a tribe of humans, a village of humans, gets to do when there's a lot of uncertainty. We actually need to trust and lean into each other even more. And so don't shoot the messenger, really. It's like, I get it. There's a lot of agendas playing out on the planet right now, and I want to speak to that in a grounded way. First off, no one knows what's really is going on. I don't know what's really going on. I don't claim to be an expert. Some of this stuff that's emerging right now in the conspiracy world, I've known about since probably 2006. If you do the research and you read about into this stuff. None of this stuff is new. It's just being accelerated, and I'm really excited that there's a mass awakening happening right now where a lot of people that I never saw in the game are getting in the game. So that's a good thing. Let's focus on the positive right now, that there is a mass awakening happening. Truth will out, and truth is coming out, and for a lot of people it's causing a lot of uncertainty and fear and intensity. So I want to speak into first off, the word conspiracy, to conspire together. What does that mean? Conspire. Just like inspire, conspire means to breathe together. So let's think about that for a second. If I'm going to conspire with you and make a secret plan or make a in-group or a secret agenda, then we're actually going to breathe together. And breath, spire, spirit, breath is spirit. Breath is emotional divine energy. So if we're talking about conspiracies, then we're talking about we're breathing together. We're breathing together. Just think about that. Let that land. Etymology holds a lot of secrets to meaning and the history of language. Now, as far as the modern term conspiracy theory, yes, there's a lot of fully disclosed CIA documents that you can read right now on government websites that talk about the very real agendas to discredit and take down dissidents by basically invalidating them, making them seem silly, making them seem, like they're just tin hats, when actually there's a lot of evidence that this cultural engineering has been going on for a long time. And it's way before the 50s and 60s and the Cultural Revolution. This goes back to Roman times. This is thousands of years old. And it's important to inform yourself and arm yourself with knowledge. And let's talk about what informing is and information, okay? So I'm a stand for discernment and going inside first. So before you start blasting people with, how do you not know the truth? How can you be such an idiot? Like, you're so wrong, which I see a lot of on Facebook, which makes me sad. Think about what you're actually sharing. How does it feel in your body? How does your intuition, your instinct respond to the information? Does it make you feel weak, disempowered, in fear, helpless? That might not be good information to share, because then you're going to make other people feel weak, disempowered, and helpless. When you take in information or you watch a video or interview and it makes you feel empowered, it makes you want to do something in the world, it makes you want to act, that might be good information to share, because it's going to help other people to act and feel like they can do something and that they have agency and empowerment. So you really have to tune into around what kind of information are you sharing. And there's people in the comment sections on this platform and in my inbox that are sharing absolute garbage. And I understand that there's truth hidden in the lies, right? There's truth, like some of the most powerful misinformation has shades of truth and lies mixed together. So it all goes in together. It's like slipping in the poison with the macaroni and cheese. So you need to have discernment. You need to be looking clearly and understanding, wow, what do they really mean? What is this really saying? Or if it's a friend or loved one sharing something, where are they really coming from? Am I taking this personally? Am I acting from wounding and disempowerment? It's really shocking to me that so many of the people in the spiritual community, they're doing yoga and ayahuasca and breath work, and they're so enlightened. And this includes myself in the past. Like I'm not putting anyone on blast in specific. It's just a trend I'm noticing in the collective that all of a sudden when the lockdown happens and quarantine and corona, all of a sudden people are acting batshit crazy and becoming the very thing that they were trolling and speaking to in the past, right? So they're like, look at these sheeple, they don't know what's going on. And then I see the community doing it to each other. Backbiting, crabs in a bucket, right? The crabs in a bucket metaphor is when one crab is like, hey guys, my business is thriving during quarantine. Or hey guys, I actually stopped watching conspiracy theories because I realized that I'm tired of being in fear and I want to act from love in my life. And the other crabs who are still at the bottom of the bucket will take them down. And I think this is an unconscious reaction, and we can have compassion for people when they do this, but also, I'm a big fan of setting healthy boundaries and having zero tolerance. So let it be known, I want to speak into, you tribe. And, I'm so grateful for you all and all your shares and all of your comments and your messages. But if there's any kind of that troll energy, you got one shot and one shot only before you're blocked. And so I've had to block a lot of people since this quarantine started just because the sheer insanity in the level of bypassing and gaslighting and name calling and all this silliness that comes from human beings in fear that can't control their reactions online. And so I'm not making you wrong. I'm informing you that you're going to get blocked. So what's really interesting to me is another etymology of the word information, right? Informing. So when you're in formation, you're in a formation, you're informed. So when you inform someone, really powerful information that is in truth and is grounded and is backed in empiricism and is backed in data, hopefully, and is backed by your own body. So your sensations in your body will let you know when something's true because you don't feel like shit when you hear it. So when you share that information, when you inform someone, you actually allow them to get in formation. They get to form up around the information, and learning that information actually informs their life so they can get their things in order. Their finances, their relationships, their emotions, their business, their food, clean air, clean water. So good information should actually help you get into a good formation with yourself. It should help you form healthy boundaries and agencies and strategies and empowerments to cope and hopefully thrive with this changing world that we're in. So now that is spoken, I would really love, to hear from you all, like what is the number one like nugget or pearl you have to share? And I'd love for you to share that in the comments right now. What is the number one nugget or pearl you have to share right now? Whether it's just something you're grateful for, it's a really beautiful piece of news or information that you've vetted and feel good about, or it's just something you have a question about. I would love for you to share that in the comments right now. And also share this video out if you're feeling me right now, because I haven't been doing a lot of lives. I've been really focusing, and I'm so grateful that my mastermind is sold out and I'm ready to take people through some epic online brand building. And I'm kind of taking a back seat from really using my voice in the current situation, but I'm complete with that. So I'm ready to come back here and really share a lot of what I've been seeing and feeling. And to be fair, at the beginning of this crisis, this quarantine, I did what a lot of you did. I locked myself in a room and went on benders of conspiracy theory videos and all kinds of truth seeking, right? Which is powerful. And, I watched myself become more depressed, more anxious, start giving into addictions, and the information, it's like I couldn't process it. It started to really fuck with me. And then I hear from other people like, oh, none of that's true. That's a deep state hack, or this is part of their agenda, like that, this so-and-so speaker is wrong. It's like, but let's get something really clear here. Anything you're going to go into that makes you feel that way and starts to feel like junk food information. Like think about when you eat a lot of junk food and you feel bloated, you feel tired, you feel anxious, depressed. With food and information, it's the same thing. What are you putting into your mind? And I understand for some people it's really scary right now because their illusions are being shattered. And I want to hold compassion and really reverence and love for humanity right now, for those that have had no idea about what is actually happening, and that there is archetypal evil on this planet, and there is evil, and the love and light, like, oh, everything's okay, like everybody can come back into the light, even Bill Gates and even George Soros and these moguls of vast conspiracy and death. It's like, no, there is evil on the planet. So let's face up to that. Let's inform ourselves and get information confronting that. And what that actually turns into, because you're not going to grab a Molotov cocktail and, a weapon and go out into the streets and fight right now. Like, let's just be clear about that. The people that are like, you got to fight and get on the front lines and these kind of warrior energies. It's like, yes, like if someone came into my home and tried to take my women or children and vaccinate them, like, yes, I'm going to fight. But right now it's an information war. Like, you got to get your head in the game. World War III will be fought with information and memes, which memes are just the base unit of language. It has nothing to do with cat videos. It's an information war. And George Orwell, if you haven't read 1984, please read 1984, because groupthink and social engineering through controlling the present, you can control the past. And if you can control the past, you can control the future. So let me say that again. This is straight from 1984, which if you haven't read, please do. News media and the information war that is being waged against us right now is seeking to control the present and the frame so they can control the past and history. And if you don't understand your history, you can be disconnected and sold anything. And if you can control the past and do that, you can control the future. So, Rage Against the Machine loves to use this lyric, and those guys were way ahead of their time as well. But understand where we're at right now, family. Understand that it's an information war. There's a war right now for your mind. And I don't want to hear any love and light, bypassing of like, there's no war, brother. Like, it's all you. And like, okay, yes, there's an inner game that's more important than the outer game, which I want to speak to next. But let's just call a spade a fucking spade. The media wants you to feel a certain way. It wants you to feel fear. It wants you to feel disempowerment. They don't want you growing food. They don't want you having access to your own clean water. They don't want you to have access to community and building materials so you can create land off grid. This is a fucking war right now. And it's an information war. So people aren't going to knock on your door and take you out of your home into concentration camps. Like, that's not happening for most of the people. If you're watching this video, if you have the ability to be on a smartphone and watch this video, you have so much privilege that that's not going to happen to you anytime soon. So if you act that you're trying to, move into that direction of like full physical conflict, and you're hoarding and you're going into that kind of resistance, like, this is just an invitation. Come back to the inner game. Before we have to crusade and fight the powers that be, yes, you have to go inside and dethrone the inner tyrant, dethrone the inner evils in you, right? The things you're not paying attention to, the things you're not loving about yourself, the things you're not taking responsibility for and taking action on, which was the whole point of this post I did about what if you just spent all that time watching YouTube videos about the agendas on building a business. Simple, like a simple online store. Or maybe you've always wanted to coach, consult, or do healing work. Or maybe it's as simple as starting a blog and just sharing your thoughts in a cohesive, rational way. But then people blast me and say I'm serving capitalism and all this. And let's just be clear about something, like entrepreneurship. And I know everyone's not an entrepreneur, so that's perfectly okay. But everyone can have a side hustle. You don't have to be a full-blooded entrepreneur to have a side hustle. Entrepreneurs are people that have mastery and have agency and time, energy, attention, and money, are the ones who have a lot of impact and change. So I've set myself up, and I know a lot of people that I trust that are in my inner council that have set themselves up to where, yeah, quarantine happens, great. Like, I have the ability to still act in the world and have a lot of agency and have the ability to create the reality I want. That's what money's for. So if you're anti-money, you're anti-agency. And it's not spiritual to be anti-money. Poverty is not spiritual. There's a lot of us right now in the spiritual community that are breaking old vows of poverty, vows of celibacy, vows of martyrdom, vows of heresy, vows of all kinds of just contracts that we've made in this lifetime or other lifetimes that are not serving us anymore. And we are snapping those like twigs right now because, family, we came here for this time. We came here to show up in this way. All the media you've been fed and all the myths you've been reading and all the stories that you were told have prepared us for this archetypal initiation of humanity. I want you to feel that. This is an archetypal initiation of the whole species, okay? And it's only going to speed up. So I really want to inform you and help you get information with yourself and your loved ones in your community so you can prepare to meet this head on and confront this reality so you're not cowering, disempowered, or fearful, and therefore able to be controlled, able to be mastered. You have to master yourself right now. The game is here. This life game, the human game, samsara, lila, maya, whatever you want to call it, it's here to teach you how to take back your power. This is my understanding of it. And all the ancient teachings, all the Buddhas, all the Christs, all the avatars, the Krishnas, they've all been saying the same thing to humanity. All the ancient teachings point to the same thing. It's like, hey, what's going on in here because it's directly affecting out here. And if you let out here affect in there, you're going to get swirled. We all know what happens when you get swirled. You flip back into your power. As soon as you feel yourself getting blown off course, you're not in the eye of the storm, your eye of the storm. Because make no mistake, the media right now, the information, the energies that's swirling around is a storm. So you got to get right in the center with your practices, with your rituals. This is why I teach morning routines. This is why I teach, all these empowerment techniques to build spiritual power, meditation, breathwork, tantra, movement, fasting. You have to get your spiritual power to a level, then you can be in the center of the storm. You're not getting sucked off your pedestal or your post, right? Putting yourself on a pedestal isn't a bad thing. It's like put yourself rooted to the earth, but put yourself on a platform. Put yourself on a pedestal so you can hold a structure, so you can be in formation, so you can inform yourself. Okay? This is some big growing pains. And I'm going through it too. I'm not immune from this. I'm not putting myself separate from you guys. Like I'm fully going through this as well. So if you're feeling me right now, share this video out with your tribe. Tag somebody who gets to hear this. And I'm really holding the torch, holding the blessing for an awakened humanity, for a humanity that is in service to life, all in for all life, all beings, all plants, animals, and beings on this planet in harmony, where we can have access to clean air, clean food, fresh water, and healthy connection to the land, to the earth. We got to come back to the mother. Do not abandon her as she's birthing you. We're in this together. And she's going to teach us a lot more in the years to come, in the weeks to come, in the days to come. So really grateful for you all. I feel complete with this transmission. Sending you all so much love. We got this. Love wins. Do not give in to fear. Step forward into the light. Confront what life has put in front of you with a smile and with an open heart. And keep your mind keen too. Love you all.